Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. Today I'm at Holmes Honda here in Shreveport, Louisiana, and we're going to take a look at the 2022 Honda Passport. This is the EXL trim level, but there are three trim levels available for 2022. You're going to find the EXL, the Trail Sport, and the Elite. This model comes with a crystal black exterior color and black interior. We'll just take a quick glance into that black interior just so you can see a little bit of what's there. But we're going to take a much closer look in just a little bit. If this is the first time you have seen a video on the 22 Passport, you're going to notice that the front end is a little bit more squared off, a little bit more of a boxy look than what it had in the past. Very similar to what we saw come for the 2021 Honda Ridgeline. The design of the grille is also going to be different, and if you're thinking to yourself, well, I'd like to have a more unique grille than what I see right there, check out the Trail Sport. We've got a video on that. I will leave a link down in the comments section that will be pinned for you to see. But let's take a look at exactly what we have in this particular case. LED headlights. You're going to find the LED daytime running lights, and I know it's hard to see because, well, the sun's out, it's kind of bright today, but it is what it is. But here is where your LED daytime running lights are. Maybe we'll grab this one and do a nighttime test drive sometime soon if it's still available here at the dealership. And then you will, of course, find, let's go over onto this side just to show you a better look. But the turn signal indicators built into the manually folding, power adjustable, but heated side view mirrors. This model does have features such as the cargo tray, auto butler, which essentially auto butler is kind of like a wax that you put on the vehicle to protect the paint. It's supposed to last 5 years. And here's a quick look at the remote for 2022. Really no changes there, but the good news is that you didn't lose anything either. That means remote start is still there. And I know a lot of you like remote start, and a lot of you like the turn signal indicators built into those side view mirrors. You'll also find window tint here as an upgrade also. What about what's under the hood of this front wheel drive model? Let's take a look and find out. And here under the hood, the most powerful option Honda makes available for any of their SUV models. The 3.5 liter V6, 280 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. Definitely not shy on the horsepower, mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission. And while all-wheel drive is an option available on these Passports, this model is front-wheel drive. The big advantage here, I like the gas mileage numbers. 20 estimated city, 25 on the highway, a combined total of 22. And according to Honda, per every 100 miles you drive your Passport, you should burn 4.5 gallons of gas. And what about tire size? These are two 65/45 tires wrapped around 20-inch wheels. And with that nice 65 series sidewall, that's going to help to soak up the bumps when driving down the road. And as far as usability, utility with this model, according to Honda, you can tow between 3,500 and 5,000 pounds. Tell me down in the comments if you've ever done any towing with a Honda Passport. And we can use the remote to open the power rear lift gate. There are a couple of different ways you can do that, from the interior, also from a button located on the door itself. And that's going to reveal the rear cargo area. Numbers range between 50.5 and 100.7 to 100.8 cubic feet. You can see that you have the cargo mat right here. You can fold that up if you need to get it out of the way, or you can also just take it out altogether. Well, look under the floor right here. Under the floor, well, there is space in here, obviously, for quite a bit. But one thing you might have noticed is that when I showed you the undercarriage shot earlier in the video, there was no spare tire. Here's why. And now that additional cargo space, the cargo tray right there, is now pulled out of the vehicle because I wanted to show you how you can come right here and you can actually fold this floor all the way up. I'll do that in just a second and show you how that looks. But there is your spare tire located right underneath the floor right here. And then one more thing I do want to show you before we move on. You do have your 12-volt power outlet right there. Good multitasker. Now, one thing you can do if you have to change a tire is you can use this mount right here. It's just a little rope with a hook on the end of it that you can put right over this area right here, and that's going to hold that up and out of the way. Or if you find it a little bit easier, you can actually just lay it against the front seats like I've done right there. I'll give you a little bit of a different view just so you can see the options here as far as what you can do depending on your situation and or desires. By the way, if you're wondering, how do you go about removing this cargo area right here? You're just going to turn both of these. There's one on each side, one on this side, and then you can just pull it out. It actually releases very easily once you do that, and it's light as can be. It's just a plastic tray. And looking into the back seat, you will find a door bin here, at least for your rear seat passengers, quite a bit deeper than it looks from this particular angle. There is more storage available with the rear seat pockets, or what we often call map pockets. The fold-down armrest with cup holders built in. And last but not least, here are your rear air conditioning vents. And then down there on the bottom, right down here, you're gonna find 2 USB ports. And here is the sunroof. We'll give you a decent view of that. Let's see if we can do that. There we go. It is a conventional size sunroof. Tell Honda down in the comments if you would like to see a panoramic sunroof at some point in the future. Now, if you were looking at the door bins on those rear doors as a passenger and saying, that's just not enough for me, better call Shotgun on this Passport because you have upper and lower door bins here. A good increase in space where that is concerned. A couple of drink holders right there, plenty of space for snacks. And then if you want to hide your sugary snacks down here that you don't want anyone to know about, well, there's space right there. There is a 4-way power passenger seat. The driver's seat is a 10-way power seat. And then the pretty much standard size glove box here, but just to show you what is there. Now you know, and then we'll hop in here and take a look at the garage door style. That's what I always think of, at least, with the lid for the console, because that's just what it reminds me of. Pretty deep down in there, and then more connectivity here, USB, 12-volt power outlet, and that's not all there is in the way of connectivity. Obviously, you have your wireless charging pad here, another 12-volt, and another USB right here. And what about safety features? Well, you're going to have Honda Sensing. That's as good as it gets with Honda, and you have quite a bit there. Adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, road departure mitigation. You also have blind spot monitoring. A lot of great features there. And here's something we didn't see on the passenger side door. You've got seat memory for that 10-way power driver's seat, and then the controls right here for opening that power rear door and your locking gas door back there. That's good to know because nobody can get into that as easily as they might otherwise. Not that anybody would, but you just never know in this day and age. And here are some controls for the safety features such as traction control. You can see what else is here. And something that I know for me personally, I have to get used to sometimes when I drive these Hondas is the fact that the adjustments for the power side view mirrors are found here instead of on the armrest, on the top of the armrest where they would normally be. And depending on your situation, you might want to use Econ mode. That's likely to give you the best gas mileage. I don't know that it makes a huge difference because we haven't road tested it long enough to know. Maybe we'll do that sometime in the future. And last but not least, the lever right here that allows you to adjust the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. So we'll hop inside and hit the push button start for the engine, the start stop button for the engine, show you what's there on the dashboard. And you'll notice you have the belt minder feature right there. That one that's illuminated in green is telling you that, well, it's buckled, the rest are not. So just so you know what's there. Steering wheel mounted controls, I don't really have to tell you a lot about what's there, and depending on what driving mode you are in, well, you have your shifter paddles right here if you want to use those. And here's how you're going to change those modes. We'll just show you real quick. You can go into drive or sport with this button right here, and then you have normal and snow right there. And don't mind the blinking you see on your screen right there. That has to do with the shutter speed of my GoPro that I'm filming the video with. It is nothing to do with Honda's infotainment screen, just so you know. And you do have your button right here for controlling the volume and turning the radio on and off. And as you can see, you have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You can pair your smartphone here. That means you basically turn the screen into your phone, and then you have a few more features right here depending on what you need to see and or do. And you can swipe back and forth, or you can do it that way. And let's just say you wanted to move something around on the screen. Well, here's how we're going to do it. We can just drag everything. Let's see if we can get that to work. There we go. Drag that where you want it to be, and then you're going to hit done right there, and you're finished up with that, just so you kind of know what's here if you want to move things around. And then what about the rear view camera? Well, obviously it's here. You have a multi-view rear view camera. Let's take a look at all three views here. If I can get that to work. There we go. And then finally, if you're backing up to a trailer to hitch up, or if you're just backing up to something and saying, how close am I to hitting something back there? Well, it's very easy to know. And dual zone climate control. We talked about tri-zone climate. You have dual zone climate control with tri-zone climate. You can obviously adjust that here. You can sync those together, or if you don't want to sync them together, well, you can turn that button off right there, or that feature off. And then heated only seats, but that is what's here. A little bit of storage right there. You can put your cell phone up there. And we looked at the fact that you already have the wireless charger right here. That's always useful. Cup holders, and to adjust or open the power sliding sunroof. We looked at that earlier. Here is the functionality for that if you need to use that. And an auto dimming rear view mirror, something that's very helpful when out on the road. Speaking of out on the road, let's get out on the road and do a test drive. All right, here we go. I'm driving in what I affectionately call snail mode, econ mode. So surprisingly, if you drop the pedal to the floor, it will get up and go without a problem. It takes a little bit longer, but it does eventually get there. So I'm going to go from snail mode. In fact, I'm going to just reach over here and turn it off, and we'll go back into normal. The big difference here is that you're still going to get the same acceleration. It's just going to come a little bit faster. The same thing when you go into sport mode, because, well, then you can have the engine and the transmission running a little bit easier, a little bit more freely turning, so to speak, so the RPMs are going to rise a little bit faster. So what about ride quality? What is the ride quality like in this Passport? Well, personally, I think it's pretty good. But the trick here is that it's really best for you to drive it for yourself, because you have to keep in mind that as somebody who reviews cars on a very regular basis, whether I mean to or not, I am essentially filtering through what I drive on a daily basis. So I might say, well, this rides really well, and you might hop in it and say, well, not for me. It just depends on what you're used to. That's why test drives for yourself are so important. I'll give the test drive here on YouTube, but I always like to caution people against just taking our word for it here in the automotive journalist world. It is what it is. You can only convey so much in words and in video. But the things I can say is that the seating is comfortable. Obviously, you have this multi-adjustable 10-way power driver's seat. The steering wheel itself, pretty comfortable. It's not leather wrapped, so it's not as comfortable as it would be if that were the case. But everything is easy to get to, and something I really like. I can't say this enough. If you are somebody who has never had the kind of technology that these Hondas have with the infotainment screen and all the safety features and all that good stuff that's here, don't be afraid of it with a Honda. Honda has one of the absolute easiest infotainment screens and overall technology to learn in the industry. So it's easy to deal with, it's easy to learn. If you can use your smartphone, you can use this technology here. Acceleration is good. The brake pedal, well, again, that goes back to what you're used to. To me, it feels a little bit soft, but when you get on it hard enough, the vehicle stops with no problem, even with that soft pedal feel. But you need to drive it for yourself. Someone else might hop in here and say, no, that feels aggressive to me. Just depends on what you are used to experiencing. But overall, always high marks for these Hondas. Enjoyable to drive, a lot of great features. It's a good vehicle regardless. If you're wanting a little bit more space than what is available here, well, you could step up to the Honda Pilot, the 3-row SUV from Honda. And tell me down in the comments, would you like to see Honda eventually offer a full-size SUV? Tell me down in the comments if you are going to buy a 2022 Honda Passport. What trim level are you planning to buy? And tell me about interior and exterior color combinations. Got to say a special thanks to my friends here at Holmes Honda for loaning me this Passport for the day, and all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out another of the videos that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.